What's up, guys? We're here at AMC Town Square with Chasing Cinema.
James Shu, how are you?
.com, and tonight we have two movies coming out: Emily Ratajkowski and Zac Efron's "We Are Your Friends" and
No Escape, starring Owen Wilson and
Pierce
Lake
Brosnan
Bell.
and Lake Bell.
And Pierce Brosnan. Our review for We Are Friends is already up online. Make sure to go
already
check
online.
It out. So No Escape. This movie that, if you weren't watching last week, had me and James in pieces because I don't know. There's something funny about this trailer. I am so amazed. This movie kind of just totally came out of nowhere. I don't remember reading about it. I don't remember hearing about it. But I do know it is here now. And I've been hearing a lot of interesting things about this movie. The movie has been called racist and kind of other things amongst those lines, and being very blunt. And I'm interested in seeing how they put all this together and how they're getting that kind of criticism. Owen Wilson in this action movie kind of feel, this gun 'em up, I don't know, not necessarily gun 'em up, I don't know, this thriller of him trying to survive. I'm not sure. Like, Owen Wilson isn't the guy that comes to mind, but hopefully he could show that he could be a little bit more versatile. So.
All right. Well, this movie is.
You're gonna go see We Are Your Friends.
I'm gonna see We Are Your Friends, and then
I'm gonna see No Escape, which runs a little bit long, just a tad bit longer.
140, huh?
Yeah, about 140, 145. So I'm interested to see. I am hoping this movie's really fun.
Let's see how the movie is.
Let's go.
All right, so we just got out of our movies. I just got out of Zac Efron, Emily Ratajkowski's "We Are Your Friends," and if you haven't seen my review for that, it's already on this channel. So after this review, check that one out.
Yeah,
ChasingCinema.com.
link in the description box.
You just got out of
No Escape, which stars Owen Wilson and Lake Bell. Okay, so a lot of things going on in this movie. I'm gonna break down the plot for everyone who does not know. So Owen Wilson and Lake Bell and his two daughters have decided to move across country to start the life over after their other business went quote-unquote belly up. Now, this location, and this is one of the most random parts about the movie, is never disclosed to us. We are never told where they go. And I think a lot of that is because of the backlash they've been getting about, it being terrorists and being violent. But we do know it is somewhere in around Malaysia, and it borders Vietnam. So I think that leaves, what is it? I'm not sure. Well, I want to say Tibet, but not Tibet. But Laos, I believe Laos,
okay.
and somewhere else. I'm not really sure. But anyway, they don't disclose in the movie, so we'll just act like it doesn't have a name. And this movie kind of is about a coup. It's about a government coup, and it's about these foreigners who are being murdered, which include Owen Wilson and his family, who just come from America, in their escape to get out of this country or to find safety somehow, some way. I was really disappointed in this movie, and it's interesting because this is a movie that really kind of polarized people. Speaking to a lot of critics after the screening and talking to a lot of them and reading a lot of them, people are very, very left and right about this movie. Some found it to be an enjoyable thriller, a movie that they found to be very tense, to be very exciting. Some people like me found the movie to be kind of a not so political thriller, kind of just hiding under that kind of tone, like, oh, we're talking politics, but it really didn't, and I thought that it was kind of going for more cheap thrills. A great example is the scene in which we see in the trailer, which one we've been laughing at, when Owen Wilson is throwing his daughter to his wife on the other roof, right? Okay, so that build-up to that scene is actually very tense and very actually engaging, but then there's this moment where the audience began to laugh, and not because they were nervous laughing, because it started to feel kind of ridiculous. So once that happened, and including me, like, I kind of chuckled, like, okay. I believed we crossed that path of being able to believe everything. I also think that Owen Wilson did not do poorly, but his character, I didn't buy him. I honestly have to say, I think the best part about this movie was definitely Pierce Brosnan. And like you said, I don't remember if that was this review or not. He's only been about the film maybe 15, 20 minutes, if that. He has a really, really great part, and in that part is where the political thriller kind of comes in, where they start talking about how our nation and other big nations treat smaller nations and poor nations, and what we do and how we go about them. But then it kind of goes back into the cheap thrills kind of stuff. I found that overall to be just kind of disappointing. There are those scenes where you kind of get caught up and they are very suspenseful, but then they usually go for something cheap and something just not very creative to kind of go, okay. Basically, I was underwhelmed by this picture. It's one of those movies where, I've told you and on this video channel many times that the worst movie to talk about is the ones where I don't have strong feelings on because I didn't really care. And this is that kind of movie. I mean, going home, driving home, brainstorming for my review, I was already forgetting pieces. I wasn't really remembering much, except Pierce Brosnan. And the fact that, spoiler alert, I'm giving you guys a quick spoiler, Pierce Brosnan is a British agent, right? He
James
confessed.
Bond?
Yeah, and I was like, how awesome would it be if he's like, oh, are you like a British agent or something? Owen Wilson asks him, and he would have been like, yeah, my name's Bond, and just boom, that would have made the movie for me. But obviously, it was kind of balancing these tones of being a serious drama. And I think the girls in the movie that played the young daughters were very good, but I think it put them in. I don't know. I just don't know what this movie was really trying to tell me. I think that it was very odd that they didn't want to discuss. I think that it was wanting to be a political thriller, but without really sinking their teeth into it. I thought it was done very, very lightly. But I talked to critics, and I talked to people who are like, the message of the film is, Americans aren't always the best country, and other countries aren't always good, and I get that, but to me, it wasn't something that nailed home. I didn't walk out of that movie saying, okay, this movie had this incredible theme about this, and this. I felt that it was a Taken-esque movie, except instead of getting his daughter back, he's getting his family out. That just kind of had political stuff thrown in there, and I didn't feel like it was very rich in that theme. So overall, I was kind of disappointed.
Man.
Yeah. It was so funny because I was struggling so hard when I was writing my review to get things out. But, I mean, even if you play that back, I am kind of repetitive.
And that review can be seen on chasingcinema.com/
No Escape. You can find the link also in the description box.
And don't forget also we have
We Are Your Friends.
Zac Efron and Emily Ratajkowski.
Thank you.
All right, so those are the two films for this week.
Summer has definitely come to a halt. After what was last week again? American
Hitman.
Ultra.
Hitman.
American Ultra and Hitman. So we've come to a kind of a
I fell
halt.
asleep in Hitman.
And next week, I don't think is going to be much of excitement either. Wednesday, we have a smaller release, but maybe for the older movie fans, Robert Redford and Nick Nolte in A Walk in the Woods. And then following that on Friday, we have Transporter Refueled.
With or without Jason Statham?
Without Jason Statham.
Ugh.
It's the Transporter without the Transport. You know what, though? Like, I enjoyed the Transporter movie. I really enjoyed it. And Transport 2 is okay. But I totally forgot. There's a third one, right?
Lord?
There's a third
There
one.
is a third one,
All
right?
three with Jason?
Yeah, and I totally forgot there was a third one.
I've never seen any of them.
Really? The Transporter 1 is pretty solid. And that's kind of when America was fresh to Jason.
Yeah, I've never seen any of them.
No, that one's pretty solid. I mean, granted, it is a very kind of out there action movie, but it's a fun action
Is it like
movie
Taken?
nonetheless. No. I honestly, I haven't seen the Transporter in a really long time, so I'll answer that question next week.
Okay.
All right.
So don't forget about going to Chasing Cinema, Facebook, Twitter.
Yeah,
All that good
all
stuff.
that fun stuff. We're everywhere.
Love it. We'll be back, and don't forget chasingcinema.com is known as
The Film Lovers website.